Hey everybody, Chris here with the Blue Collar Gentleman video for the Blue Collar Beer Gourmet channel. I've only got 15 minutes on my Screencast-O-Matic recorder, so I'm going to have to speak quickly because I've got a lot of ground to cover. I wanted to let you know a little bit of something about myself, and I wanted to let you know what to expect from this channel in the coming days. May help you decide whether you want to continue watching or not, and I sincerely hope that you will. But I can also understand if after hearing this you decide, well, it's not what I was here for, so I'm not going to be coming back, and I wouldn't blame you at all. I just hope that I'm not losing too many of you. I wanted to let you know, well, I wanted to start my story off by explaining that this channel has been around since I was, let's see, this channel has actually been around for a little over 4 years now, almost five, and it hasn't grown quite as well as I was expecting it to. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. But I am trying to do my best, trying to make things better, trying to have some appeal to everybody, trying to, and still stay true to who and what I am and what I'm trying to achieve with this channel, and that is to try and get good craft beers in your hand without costing you a hell of a lot of money. So that's going to stay the same, regardless of anything else that changes on this channel. That is the whole purpose of this channel. If I were to win the lottery tomorrow, which would be actually very difficult because one, I don't buy tickets, and two, I don't even live in a state where you can buy lottery tickets. Um, but that aside, if I were to win the lottery tomorrow, I'd still be drinking $2 beers because that's what I'm all about. I'm all about, like I said, putting good craft beers into the hands of people who don't have a whole lot of money to spend on craft beer. And I'm trying to prove to everybody that you don't have to have a lot of money to do that. And that's the purpose of this channel. The other purpose of this channel, and it's a secondary purpose that I've created, is it's it's what I call the Blue Collar Gentleman series. Uh, I'm going to explain why I decided to do the Blue Collar Gentleman series shortly after I give you a little bit of my backstory. And my backstory, I'm going to start on not very far back, but in July, in fact, July 19th of 2017, I got married to the love of my life, Nancy. And 3 days after that, on the final night of our honeymoon, I survived a heart attack. Um, and I'm sorry, 8 days after that, I turned 45. The next day, I had quadruple bypass surgery. So over the course of 12 days, I got married, went on a honeymoon, survived a heart attack, turned 45, and had quadruple bypass surgery. Now, the funny thing about that was I didn't experience too many epiphanies in the hospital. In fact, I kept thinking as I was laying in the hospital room recovering, shouldn't I be feeling something now? Shouldn't I be experiencing something now? And to be honest with you, I wasn't. I've never been much of an epiphany guy. I'm the kind of guy where it sort of slowly comes to me. And such was the case with the realization that I needed to change just about everything about my life. I needed to change my diet. I needed to change my exercise routine. So, in other words, I needed to change my health altogether. I needed to change my mental health. I needed to change my mindset. I needed to change my goals. And almost most importantly, I needed to change what I was doing with my life, which was a whole lot of nothing. And sitting in a retail store, I'm not going to go into the full scope of that. It was a coin store. I'm not going to speak ill of the owner. The owner was a good guy. But the truth of the matter was, working in that store, I had achieved as much as I possibly could. The store wasn't really going much of anywhere, and not being the owner and not having any investment in the place, I had no real incentive other than, maybe getting slightly a couple of crumbs off of the piece of pie that I was increasing. I decided that I was playing a sucker's game by working a job. And as luck would have it, I came across Robert Kiyosaki and Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I started to realize that I was thinking like a poor person. And I looked down at my stomach and realized that I was eating like a poor person, living like a poor person. I was surrounded by fat and weight that I did not want. And I started watching other YouTube videos. And I'm going to go through a real quick mention of some of those. Um, I started checking out Graham Stephan and um, and Jeff Rose at Bigger Pockets on YouTube. I started looking at Brian Rose at London Real. Started listening to the gang at Bigger Pockets. I'm sorry, Jeff Rose is at Wealth Hacker, not Bigger Pockets. Jeff Rose at Wealth Hacker. Grant Cardone's 10X Effect, started listening to the Tony Robbins channel. Dan Martell, started listening to, became familiar with Hal Elrod and the Miracle Morning, and that's something that I'm probably going to touch on a little bit later in greater detail, because that is something that I try to live my life by. Tim Ferriss and the 4-Hour Work Week. And then in terms of trying to dress better, because I realized that I was actually kind of sloppy in my appearance, despite the fact that I was dressed better than the owner of the store. I really was not dressed very stylishly. I was basically dressing the way that a fat guy is forced to dress based upon the fashion options that are available to us. So I started watching style videos, and I became familiar with Raphael Schneider at Gentleman's Gazette and Antonio Centeno at Real Men, Real Style. In the meantime, I do have some plans for farming down the road, and I will discuss that in greater detail as time goes by. Suffice to say at this time, it is of interest to me to look into the possibility of using insects as protein. So I started checking out Curtis Stone at Urban Farmer. Other people I started checking into, Than Merrill at Fortune Builders and Ty the Flip Man at the Flip Man channel, because I do intend to increase and actually create a stronger real estate portfolio for Nancy and me. For the first time, honestly, sincerely, Nancy and I are going after the money. And it's not something that I have ever done, to be perfectly honest with you. One of the things that I figured out as I was sitting at that job was that I had really nothing to show from my 20s. I had nothing to show from my 30s, except for some good times. And I really didn't even have anything to show for my 40s at that point. So I am going to be doing a number of things to try and increase my cash flow. One of the things I will be doing is looking into the Mark Wills program to become a licensed signing agent, and I'm going to be promoting that on this channel as well. So there you have it. But getting back to my heart attack. Well, the heart attack, as I said, happened in July of 2017, almost, and in August, almost to the exact day that I had the quadruple bypass. Had the quadruple bypass on July 31st, 2017. Went to go see the cardiologist on August 1st of 2018. So a year later, after the surgery, he listened to my breathing, listened to my heart. He said that he was very happy with it. And he said almost kind of offhandedly, you know, you could train for a marathon if you wanted. And I thought, sure, yeah, okay, that sounds great. Because I was used to being a fat guy and thinking that that was something that was completely out of the possibility for me. And then something inside of me said, and why? Why can't you run a marathon? What excuse do you have to not run a marathon, to train for a marathon? And it occurred to me that I really had no excuse. I had none whatsoever to not run and train for a marathon. And I decided the thing that I really needed to do, because I needed to not only train for a marathon, but actually change my whole lifestyle and life outlook, was that I was going to run a marathon when I turned 50. So I resolved that up until the age, until when I turned 47, this was going to be sort of wrapping my mind around the idea that I'm going to be in a 3-year training program, but I am going to be in a 3-year training program. And it's each year has its own separate goal. The years from from the age of 47. So July 30th of this year until July 30th of next year, I'm going to be working on just getting rid of the flab that's on my body and trying to get rid of, I was a fat baby, I was a fat kid, I was a fat teenager, I was a fat college kid. Even when I was doing methamphetamine, somehow I still managed to remain fat. So I just kind of thought, oh, well, that's just what I have. That's my cross to bear. And I have to, having a slow metabolism and having a predilection towards being a fat guy is a cross that I have to bear. But being a fat guy is not a cross that I have to bear. And I am going to go full strength. And this year, as I said, is focused on just getting rid of the flab. So I'm going to be working on my diet program, and there's going to be a video a few days before my birthday in which I explain what my diet and what my exercise programs are going to be. And that doesn't mean that they're carved in stone. They may change with time, but one of the things I can assure you is going to be part of my diet program is drinking celery juice on an empty stomach. So the second year, I'm going to be working on getting myself into runner's form. So this is going to be a lot of weightlifting, and it's going to be a lot of lots and lots of reps with less weight as opposed to great big weights. I'm not trying to build bulky muscles. I'm trying to build lean muscle. And that'll be the project for the second year, is getting into runner's form, getting my form down once I've got the flab gone. And the third year and final year, prior to running the marathon, so the year from 49 to 50, I am going to be focused pretty much, well, not pretty much, but I am going to be focused on becoming a runner. I'm not getting up by that point. I'll have the flab gone. I'll have the runner's form created, but then it'll be time to work on actually becoming a runner, running some smaller races. And so sometime between July 30th of 2022 and July 29th of 2023, the 365 days that I will be the age of 50, I am in fact going to run a marathon. And I created a blog specifically related to that. It's called Fat 50 and Running a Marathon. That's FAT 50 ANDRUNNINGAMARATHON. Fat 50 and Running a Marathon. .com. That is the blog. That's where I'm going to be. I put all kinds of stuff. I've been working on it daily. I post daily, and it's a story of, basically at this point, it's a story of how I have failed at a great number of things. And if it ends up just being a path of failure, then so be it. I believe that there's other people out there like me. I think that there's people who are in their 40s and hopefully even younger than me. I would really like to get people in their 30s and 20s. Those of you out there who have slow metabolisms, who've been stuck with being fat your entire lives, this is for you guys. This is for you. This is how one guy who is destined to be fat, or seems to be destined to be fat for his entire life, is getting past that. So there's going to be, I would like to do a blue collar gentleman video once a week. I don't know if I'm going to be able to succeed at that, but I'm going to be discussing all kinds of things, from styles and dressing better to acting better to being better. I'm going to try and get some interviews on there with people who are experts in any number of fields, whether that's financial fields or health fields, any things like that. I'm even going to try to have some cannabis experts on. We're going to talk about CBD, things along that nature. I'd like to think that the videos that are going to be coming are going to be getting better, as like the beer reviews have. Now, I want to address the beer reviews very quickly because I see I have less than 3 minutes left. Actually, I've got slightly more than 3 minutes left to talk about this, and I want to explain. I have been trying very, very hard to build up a bank of reviews so that I can just simply post, and I've been doing reviews way ahead of time. At this point, as of today is July 6th, I have reviews all the way through the 9th of October, and that's too far in advance, and I want to let you know that that's not going to happen again. You're going to see me talking about about reviewing some summer beers in October. I don't want to do that again. I don't want the beers to be out of sync like that. I don't want to be reviewing summer beers that I'm buying in June and drinking to then be reviewed sometime in October. So I'm never going to have more than 1 month of videos in the can. Those of you who follow me on Instagram have probably noticed that it'll say, the last beer that I posted, it said, check out the video review on my YouTube channel sometime in October. I don't want to do that anymore, and I realize that I've got basically just 1 minute left. But so I do want to cover one quick thing. Hal Elrod, Miracle Morning. This is how I'm living my mornings. I'm going to start talking about Hal Elrod and the Miracle Morning and what I'm doing with my Miracle Mornings, because I'm not sure what else to do with my limited camera resources. I've got 41 seconds left, and I just want to say thanks to all of you. This is my plan. This is what I'm going to be working towards. I'm going to be looking to become a better me, a better reviewer, a better everything, trying to improve myself in every way, shape, and form. And I hope you'll come along for the ride, and I hope that maybe we can teach each other something along the way. Until then, guys, thank you for watching. I appreciate all your support, and cheers.